Gaming and tech. We have two last-minute updates this week. We're going to get to those first, but let's do the teaser headlines. We have Call of Duty is one of those big updates. We have Silent Hill has announced the Silent Hill transmission date, Konami that is, and YouTube is adding features to YouTube Music to try and stay relevant on the music side of things. We're going to talk about all that and a little bit more. Welcome, nerds, to this week's edition of the Gaming and Tech News, generally speaking. Now, I'm no Linus or Spawnwave or Gamers Nexus or insert channel that is dedicated to the tech and gaming news here. That's not what you're getting here. This is just enough to keep you informed, generally speaking. We do this just about every week as part of a larger news show called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel. You can find that linked down in the description or at the end of this video. Now let's talk about some gaming and tech and maybe even some like photo, video kind of news as well. So last minutes are kind of breaking updates as I was coming in to film. We have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has officially been announced that it will be launching day one on Microsoft's Game Pass, on the Xbox Game Pass. So this is, I guess more appropriately, a bit of a gamble for Microsoft because they are afraid that Game Pass very potentially could cannibalize into single game sales. So this is going to be an interesting experiment to see how that affects individual sales or not. Honestly, they're gonna try to find a way to inflate the numbers anyway, so I don't know if we're ever gonna see if this was a good idea or a bad idea outside of if it gets repeated going forward. The other breaking piece of news is we do have a release date now for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the asymmetrical team battler or whatever the hell, from the people that gave us the Friday the 13th, the game. Yeah, this is gonna be a very different animal, even though it's going to be also rather similar in a lot of ways because it's asymmetrical and you're trying to kill kids in the woods, only you're 3 clowns versus 5 teenagers instead of 1 killer versus, what was it, 4 teenagers for the Friday the 13th. But yeah, release date, June 14th. It is coming. I'm super stoked about it. That's all we have for that breaking piece of news. So let's get into the proper follow-ups this week. We have Multiversus has launched as of today while I'm filming this. They are running weird loop on their YouTube channel that's live running this loop that has very little actual gameplay in it. So it was rather confusing, but it is live now. It is the free-to-play platform brawler, I think is how they're selling it. It's their version of Smash Brothers with Warner Brothers properties, right? So yes, it is live. You can go download it if you missed it the first time when it was beta. It is now into effectively season 1, I'm pretty sure is how they're billing it, though I could just be misremembering that. The other bit of follow-up news that we have this week is AI related, is more tech on the side of the gaming and tech, and it is Suno. So there is a bit of a music battle in the AI world. I don't know if you have been keeping tabs on that, but it's getting a little scary being a musician myself, but also very intriguing and interesting to watch. And I mean, in the end, we're just getting more music and I can't be mad about that necessarily. So, but whatever. Suno AI has just launched with its version 3.5. So version 3 launched, and then approximately a month or so later is when Suno officially came out to the public. And kind of Udio rather. Udio came out and blew Suno away, and so it's been kind of the AI music generator of choice for basically everyone. And now 3.5 has rolled out, but it's only rolled out if you are a premium member or if you are some sort of paying member of the service, then you have access to Model 3.5. While they are finishing work on Model 4, they had a kind of stopgap update for us. It should be next week when the free version of Model 3.5 1.5 is available to the rest of us plebes who don't have the money to subscribe to a million different AI things, but still want to play around with them. The biggest thing here is there's going to be a lot more song structure changes. So if you have access to this, you will be able to structure your songs a little more intricately. That's what the word I was trying to find. You will be able to do that, and you can generate the entire song in a single generation. You can generate up to 4 minutes in a single generation, and then modify from there if you need to. But the little bit I've heard so far from this new model is pretty impressive. I still don't know how it compares to Udio until I can get my hands on it, because nobody that talks about this kind of stuff does aggressive music. So trying to get an AI music generator to generate something on the aggressive side of things is usually kind of the make or break for me. And Udio does a pretty damn good job. Suno does okay currently with version 3. Vocals are usually pretty messy, but the instrumentation's usually pretty good, but it hallucinates dramatically if you try to extend any of those tracks. So be very interested to see next week what we can do with that. That is, though, what we have for follow-ups and corrections in gaming and tech. Let's talk about some trailers that dropped this week. The first one is kind of not really a trailer. It's more of a teaser because it's like an animated image more than it is a video. But Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake has dropped a video of the logo animating. Effectively is what it is. They dropped it on X just the other day, but the post reads that the legend of Erdrick draws near. That's the text inside the post, and then there is text inside the video that says the legacy begins, which then has led to a lot of speculation and rumor, which we will get to in the rumor mill. But it's very interesting. This game is a bit of a long time coming, and go check out the video. The other trailer we got this week in gaming and tech that is worth talking about is Destiny 2. We got the final trailer for The Final Shape. June 4th is when this one launches, and this will very likely be the last that we see from Bungie on Destiny 2 as they move over to Marathon and, you know, hopefully salvage what the hell's going on over there. So yeah, really cool trailer. I mean, if you aren't already playing Destiny 2, this might convince you, though I'm not necessarily holding my breath, because if you're not playing already, then you're probably not going to play. Yeah, so that's what we got for trailers. Let's move into regular ass news. We have YouTube Music, the first thing in regular news. They're adding new features to the search in YouTube Music so that you will be able to search by humming, singing, or whistling. And also they're claiming that they're improving the accuracy rate faster than Shazam or Google search. So will this be enough to make YouTube Music the preferred music service of anyone? Probably not. I think, honestly, the convenience factor is a little bit more appropriate than this kind of gimmicky side feature that they're tacking on, but I guess we'll see once it officially rolls out. I did not see a release date for when this would officially be in our hands, but it's happening, so keep an eye out, I guess, if you use YouTube Music, which I think one person who does. From there, we have really interesting update, and this one comes from the mod community, which I wish I had the ability to keep better tabs on, because I really like to see stuff like this, but it is what it is. We have Super Mario 64 Maker, or Super Mario Maker 64. I don't know how exactly they're billing it, because it kind of goes both ways. There is a trailer I found as well, so I'll see if I can remember to add that to the show notes, but just YouTube Super Mario Maker 64 and you should be able to find it. This is Super Mario Maker for the Nintendo 64, and if you have, I forget exactly what the mod piece is. It's not something that you have to like mod your 64. It's like a 64 cartridge that reads memory cards. If you have that, you can play your creations on a proper Nintendo 64, which is kind of epic. But I mean, everybody's emulating these days anyway, and that's where this comes from, is from an emulator. So yeah, that's pretty freaking cool though. You can go from the, what is it, 8 red coins per level that they have in the game proper. You can do basically unlimited red coins, playable on an actual N64. I already said that. And there is a site for sharing levels. So if you create something that's amazing, or you just want to see the other amazing creations, there is a website linked down in the description. You can go check that out. But yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. And then our last piece of regular ass news for gaming and tech this week is Silent Hill Transmission has been announced for the 30th, May 30th. We will get a Silent Hill Transmission. I believe it was supposed to be 4 o'clock local time, so local to Konami, which would be Japan, or is it local? I don't necessarily know what exactly that means, but Friday the 30th, they're going to be doing the transmission. In the transmission, they're going to be dropping a lot of merch, so we're going to be able to go purchase probably figures is what it seems, though I'm hoping for like some sort of like clothing merch as well. So they're going to be dropping merch. They're going to be updating us on the status of all of the games that are currently in the works. They are also going to be updating us on the new movie. So it's going to be packed full of stuff, and then presumably when we eventually get the state of play from Sony, they will just gloss over the Silent Hill side of things, and we will have all the information already. But the state of play from Sony is still very much up in the air if it's actually going to happen anytime soon. So that's what we got for regular ass news. Let's talk now about suggestion this week for gaming. Gaming suggestion is Multiversus. It's free to play. It's honestly, it's fun. I didn't grind it super hard when it was in beta. I did play it a bit though, and I definitely enjoyed it. Hopefully they have reworked some of the game mechanics for like unlocking the characters you actually want to play as, and not just who they give you once you download the game, because that was not fun. That's honestly the reason why I didn't really grind, because the grind was a little too intense. Seems that they have fixed some of those things. They have added a boatload of new characters, and just looks like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So that is your suggestion this week for gaming. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.